We're really delighted to have with us Ms. Shitozi Degushi, the UNDP representative in Egypt. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. First of all, it would be great if we know your impression about the sessions and the discussions that have been running today and the past few days in the forum.
Thank you very much. It's my first time attending this global congress, and I have only been here for 3 months in Egypt as the new representative of UNDP in Egypt. My impression of this congress is that it's really touching on very important themes. Of course, in terms of the human development aspect, which is a very core mandate of UNDP, we have been looking at different elements of it. And as UNDP, we have been also hosting some of the sessions. And of course, in terms of the topics, we were ranging from human development in terms of empowering people, looking at AI, artificial intelligence, and human-centered AI, as well as focusing on youth and youth empowerment. So there are many different things that UNDP is working on very closely, and this Congress is really touching on those very important topics.
Okay. Great that you brought the issue of the AI, because there had been endless discussions and debates about the goods and bads of AI, and as a UN body endorsing the AI in the policy in the policy framework, how you would appraise the role of AI and how countries like Egypt could reduce the risks or the possible threats of AI.
Thank you. Artificial intelligence, we believe, is an opportunity, but it does also carry with it some risks. In terms of opportunities, of course, there are many aspects of AI that can be used for development purposes. So one of the elements that was highlighted during the sessions that I attended was around artificial intelligence for health. So of course, telemedicine is one, but in terms of the breast cancer detection, also looking at diabetic retinopathy. So those are areas where there's a specific use of AI for a good purpose. But what we need to do is actually look at the risks also in conjunction. So how do we ensure that AI is used in an ethical way? So we have, as UNDP, guidelines and toolkits that actually help institutions and governments, and as well as corporations, as well as civil society organizations, to look at the ethical use and how to put in standards that would actually monitor the use of AI.
The rapid evolution of the AI is happening in a quite fast pace. So how is the UNDP assessing the ongoing technology advancements and how it's being with the same pace of the technology in assessing and as well in recommending in policy recommendations to the countries?
So as UNDP, of course, we have been looking at AI policies and AI readiness of different countries. In Egypt as well, we're looking at what is available within Egypt in terms of the local expertise, but also looking at opportunities for expansion. In terms of the economic development aspect, as UNDP, artificial intelligence, we believe, is not replacing human beings, but it's actually complementary to human beings. So how can we use AI for increasing economic opportunities, for example, for youth? How do we use AI in terms of new entrepreneurship, new innovation, new creative ideas? How do we put that into practice? So in the sense of AI, I think what's important is looking at the policy aspects, the legal frameworks, ensuring that AI is used for ethical purposes, but looking at what opportunities exist and also skilling the youth for the next generation. So how do we build that into the education curriculum? How do we build it into entrepreneurship opportunities? How do we connect the youth with those skills, with the businesses, with entrepreneurs? So those are the aspects that we're working on as UNDP.
Interesting. Let's focus now on the issues of the use of technologies and how far it could help in boosting human development, especially in low-middle income countries. So what are the UNDP recommendations for the countries of the region and specifically Egypt?
Thank you. So I think what we need to look at is technologies, but also going beyond technologies. In terms of Egypt, we have been looking at is when we look at human development, we have different elements of human development. We have, of course, the education aspects, the health well-being aspects, and then the economic development and economic growth aspects. But one of the things that we have been seeing within Egypt is that the economic growth is quite high, and that's also perhaps driven by technologies, but really looking at how to ensure that the human development side, the human well-being side, is catching up with the economic development. And one aspect, of course, is using technologies to do that, but really looking at how to ensure that the most vulnerable people are covered in terms of social protection. This goes to also another theme of this event around population health and human development. But how do we ensure that social protection systems are in place, but in a way that actually is keeping people out of poverty and then helping them to get to prosperity? So we have this new policy paper that came up as a UNDP around poverty to prosperity, where if we have people coming out of poverty, then we can ensure that people are staying out of poverty. So how do we ensure that there's a way to ensure that the risks are mitigated, and so that people, even if they lose their jobs, or even if there's a climate risk, or if there's a devaluation crisis, something of a shock that happens, how do we ensure that those people are protected so that they don't fall back into poverty?
Ms. Chitozi Mibushi, thank you very much for your time and for the valid information. It was really a pleasure to hear you.
Thank you very much.